So the story begins with a girl named Helen who was in the supermarket when she encountered a terrifying giant creature. She ran towards the forest to save herself from it, and that creature also followed to kill her while destroying everything that came in its way. Then story moves forward by 8 years where the news of a giant creature seen in the city was published once again today. The students of zoology got very excited. They tell their professor Nick about this news, and Nick replies that it is a rumor. It is just a joke. He does not give any response to this news. Then Connor says to him that I know why you are not paying attention to this news, because your wife also disappeared in search of a similar monster and has not been found till date. And nor had she been able to give any proof of the monster being in this world till date. Nick goes with his team to investigate this news at the same place to prove this wrong, where that creature was seen. On reaching there, the scientist sees big claw marks on a truck, and here they also find the fence of the forest broken, and these things force Nick to think that maybe some giant creature still exists in this world which was first seen 8 years ago. And his wife scientist Helen also came to investigate about the same creature, but her trace has not been found till date. He thinks that maybe the same creature has swallowed Helen, and that is why no trace of her body has been found yet. Now we are shown zoologist Abby, who conducts research on reptiles. A child of her neighbor takes her to his house and tells that he has caught a strange kind of lizard from the forest. Abby was very excited to see it, and when she went and saw that lizard, Abby was surprised because she had never seen such a lizard before. This lizard also had wings. Abby tells the boy to take me to the place where you found this lizard in the forest. When they reach the forest, they get scared to see that someone had hunted a fox badly and hung it from a tree. There was a strange fog spread at this place, and as they come here, that lizard slips from the girl's hand and starts flying. Abby starts chasing this lizard to catch it, while the little child Ben, who had come with her, sees a portal hidden here and gets surprised. To know what was inside this portal, he also went inside this portal. There was a very beautiful world on the other side of this portal, a world completely different from this one. All the lizards were flying just like the one he had in his world. Here outside, Abby now feels the ground shaking rapidly. She gets scared. Before she can do anything else, she sees the reflection of a very big creature in the pond in front. This creature looked like a dinosaur. On the other hand, we are now shown Ben, who runs away from something, and he quickly comes to his house and hides in his room. He realized that something big was chasing him, and as he glanced out the front window, this big creature like a dinosaur was chasing him. It tries to attack him to catch him, even by breaking the window. Ben attacks that monster with whatever comes in his hand to save himself, and finally, that monster runs away from him. In the second scene, Abby is now shown trapped in the forest, having been chased by the same giant creature. Abby did not know that this big creature had come out of that portal. She was running away to save her life. From the other side, the creature had reached close to her. Before she could panic, Nick's entire team arrives here, who had come here since morning to research this creature. They tell Abby to relax and start looking at this creature themselves. These people look at it while pointing a torch, and they come to know that this creature is not hostile. They had never seen such an animal before. Could be a hybrid. In other words, a new animal formed from the crossbreed of two species. But this work was also possible only in the laboratory setting. They were discussing when the creature started leaving from here. These people also followed the creature, and it was seen that a very shiny portal was open here, inside which this creature was going to go. Shocked by the portal, Nick calls his entire team here to investigate and gather information. This portal could have been to another world or even to another timeline. Seeing this portal, Nick had a little hope that they can travel to the past or future, something he was researching these days. Nick thinks that his wife must have also disappeared inside a portal like this. That is why he decides to go inside the portal and check. On the other hand, we are shown that creature in the city that was after Ben. It was still searching for its prey, and while sniffing the scent, it reaches his school. The teacher gets very scared as she casts a glance at it. All the children panic. The teacher closes the door and starts placing all the furniture in front of the door. But this creature was very powerful. Breaking the door and moving things aside was not a big issue for it. before things go wrong here. Here Steven comes here and uses fire extinguisher to draw the attention of that creature towards himself, and he takes it away from here and saves the lives of the children. Now as this creature attacks Steven in anger, Steven falls outside unconscious with just one of its attacks. The scene shifts to Forest, where Nick is now preparing to go inside that portal. Abby also gives Nick that small creature which they had seen first. As soon as he goes inside this portal, this place seems like the world to him. But there was a lot of peace in this world. There were such animals everywhere which he had never seen before. And when he looks in the ground, he finds the remains of many humans, from which he understands that all the humans who visited here earlier, whether for research or for any work, are now dead. Seeing this, Nick's emotions are more deepened, and he decides to find his wife Helen in this world. But because his security guard was assigned this task of bringing Nick back alive, the duty of his security guard would not have been completed if Nick had gone away from here. That is why he brings back Nick to his real world through the same portal while knocking him down. As soon as these people come out of that portal, suddenly that portal also closes from behind, and Abby notices that the creature that had come to them earlier, which they had named Rex, had also come back to their world with them. On the other hand, we are again shown the same creature in the city which was after Ben. It was still searching for Ben and going towards Ben's house. This creature also sees other people on whom it is about to attack, when once again Steven comes in his car like a hero and hits this big creature. But this only damaged his car. That creature got no harm. Seeing this, he quickly got out of his car and shot this creature with a gun and killed it. The view shifts from here, and the next morning we are shown Abby at her home, where Abby's friend and Professor Nick's assistant Connor came to meet her. He gives the good news to Abby that the scientist has finally confirmed the news of the existence of this creature in the world. He was very excited. While they were talking about this, Connor sees that Abby still had offspring of that creature, seeing which he gets very impressed. Abby asks him to keep this a secret, and here Connor also shares a secret with her that he also wants to search about that portal. The portal in which Professor Nick went, Abby says that the portal has been closed. But they did not know that the portal was closed from one place, but now that portal had opened in many places of the world, and strange creatures were coming out from inside it, which were also very big in size. Well, the next day it is shown that both Abby and Connor had stayed in the forest to find that portal. They set up the camp and they fell asleep while talking like this. Suddenly Abby woke up due to some strange noise. She saw that the same creature was there, on seeing which she got scared. She went and woke up Connor, and both of them decided to run away from here. But then Abby noticed that this creature is not behaving like the creature before and has also fallen down suddenly. When they go closer and check, they actually come to know that two boys were pranking them. It was not that creature at all. Rather, they were trying to scare them by attaching a dinosaur toy to a stick. Now we are shown a scene of a subway station, where a man is spraying inside the underground tunnels. And then he comes across a giant spider. He had never seen such a big spider before. That spider stings his neck before he could escape. Scenes again shifts towards Connor and Abby, where both of them were now caught by Professor Nick. Professor Nick scolds both of them a lot because both of them had only put their lives in danger by coming to the forest like this. If that creature had been free in the forest, then these people would not have been alive today. Hearing this, Connor also feels very sad, and he realizes that he too had put Abby's life in danger just for his one adventure. During this conversation, Nick and his friend Claudia get the news of a man being badly injured. When they go to the hospital to check him up, they come to know that he has been bitten by something poisonous, but they were unable to guess what had bitten him because they had never seen such a large insect in this world that stings so powerfully. Now Miss Claudia goes to the security manager and tells him that we will have to send a tactical team for research to the same area where this man was working, so that they can go there and catch the creature that has attacked this man so that they can make an antidote and treat him. The security manager agrees and a team is sent there. As soon as they go inside, they all encounter countless giant spiders. As these spiders spot the humans, they start leaping towards them and try to attack to save their lives. All of them have to come out of that tunnel, and Nick's team tells Nick after coming out that there are such big spiders inside which have never been seen before. Now they were also filled with suspense, wondering where these monsters are coming from. Now Professor Nick himself starts preparing to go into the same tunnel because he also wanted to see how those creatures are. The previous team had already found out that all these creatures are afraid of light. That is why this time they had taken lights with them. These people also succeed in keeping these spiders away from them through their lights. And Nick also sees all of them. The number of these spiders was very high inside this tunnel. Abby now sees the same portal while searching here as the portal she had seen in the forest. And these people understand that these spiders were also coming out of this portal. Now these people were looking at this portal carefully when another giant monster appeared from it. It was a jointed centipede whose upper tentacles were oversized, that it could wrap any man in it. Steven picks up something from here and hits it on the head of the centipede before it could attack Abby, and both of them run away from here to save themselves. Meanwhile, Nick also comes here and sees such a big centipede. To save themselves from this, these people had now come to another room where Nick had also closed the door. But now, to their misfortune, they came to know that all the other exits of this tunnel are closed. Only that path is open from where they had come, and there are big centipede-like creatures. Where Nick was locked. Steven takes a fire extinguisher here to save him, and he tries to burn this creature and send it back to its portal from here. But with a single strike of tentacles, this creature knocks the cylinder from his hand to the other side of the portal, and then it also attacks Steven as well. After a while, when Nick feels that the noise on the other side has subsided, he came to check. Here Steven was in a dying state. Nick was trying to rescue him. When he told Nick that, as soon as that creature bit him, I had visualized something. As if a woman came from that portal and told that there is heaven on the other side of the portal, and Helen, who is Nick's wife, is waiting for Nick there. Anyway, Nick quickly manages to bring Steven to the hospital. But his condition had deteriorated a lot by this time. Claudia, who was Nick's colleague, she tells Nick that to treat him, we will need the venom of the same creature that has bitten him. We will make an antidote of the same venom with that poison, and then we will be able to cure him. Steven had very little time and the challenge was huge. But Nick shows courage and decides to get the venom of that centipede himself to create an antidote for Steven. They go to the same tunnel again, and luckily they find the centipede in the same tunnel. It was hiding inside a hole made inside a wall. Nick was also going to go inside the same hole. However, he also knew that by doing this his life could be in danger. This creature could kill him too. After passing through this hole, they stepped out from the other side. They came to know that there was a building on the other side which was under construction. Going there, Nick very bravely stands in front of the centipede because he knew that the centipede will definitely sting him after seeing him, that he had attached some containers inside his jacket at this time, and when the centipede stings him, all its venom gets collected in the containers Nick fixed inside his jacket. As their mission is completed, Ryan attacks this centipede with gun from the other side to free Nick. And as soon as the centipede writhed on the side, it hit a main switch. It got a high voltage shock and eventually it died as sparking occurred, and these people came back with venom. An antidote was quickly created from the venom and Steven was treated with it. Eventually Steven regained consciousness. But even now Nick's entire focus was on those words of Steven which he had said in his injured state. Nick was wondering whether Steven was hallucinating at that time. Did he really see Helen after coming out of the portal? He was still in a dilemma whether he should go inside that portal to find his wife Helen or not. Now the scene shifts to a completely different setting. Here we see a couple who were practicing their swimming training. Suddenly a crocodile comes out from inside the swimming pool, which jumps from above and swallows the boy in the midair, and seeing this his partner is completely shocked. Here the crocodile tries to attack that girl as well, but that girl escapes. When the team comes here for investigation, they suspect that Diane herself is behind the death of Diane's partner, because it was impossible for any kind of animal to be inside this facility. Whereas Diane tried to convince everyone that a very big crocodile had come here and engulfed her partner. Now after hearing this news, Nick and his team reach here the next day, and they understand the whole matter, that a portal must have opened here from inside which that creature must have come out, and that creature must have eaten that boy, and then that creature had gone back to its home. That is why no sign of him is found at this place. Now Claudia, who had understood all this, goes to her security chief. She tells him the whole matter and asks him not to punish Diane for the crime which she did not commit. But here this man replies to Claudia that we cannot do anything that you want, because if we do not arrest that girl, she will tell the world everything about that creature and those portals, and we have to keep this news hidden for now. The next day, Nick and his team come to know that the same portal was now seen inside the lake of another city, and those big crocodiles were also witnessed inside the same lake this time, from which Nick and his team come to know that those portals are shifting from one location to another. Now Nick decides to go into the same lake with his team at the same place where that portal was open this time. They were still searching this portal when Abby noticed that the creature coming out from there was now moving around Abby. Abby stood still for some time, and when she felt that now her life is in danger, she immediately called Connor. Connor came to save her and took out of the water. That creature came out of the water to attack them, so Connor picked up a piece of wood to save from it and stabbed it in its neck. That made the crocodile move back in pain, and as it went inside the water, it went into its portal, and that portal closed as soon as it left from there. As the portal closed, the research of Nick and all his team who were doing research here also stopped. Now, to continue their research, Nick and his team decide that they will now find the next place where this portal will open. Finally, they soon find out the place where this portal opened again. Nick had decided to go into that portal this time. Ryan ties a rope with Nick so that if needed, and they felt that Nick was in some danger, so they would pull him out with a rope. After going inside this portal and coming out of the water, Nick sees that he had reached a new world, where he now encounters very big birds, and finally his search ends. He also finds his wife Helen here. He was so happy to see Helen that he did not even know how to tell her. He tells Helen that please go back to your world. You have got a chance to come back to your world. But Helen refuses to go there and says that I do not want the people of the world to know about these portals, and the people of the world come and spoil this world to save themselves from the problems of the world. That is why I am not going anywhere from here. But here she tells Nick that you can stay with me here. This world is wonderful. Helen promises him that I will show you everything here that I have discovered here. But Nick refuses her. He says that whatever I had made in that world, I had made it for you. I had made it to live with you, and now I don't want to leave those things. So Helen tells him at this time that okay, then you go back to your timeline. I don't want to go with you. Hearing this, Nick goes back inside the water so that he can go back to his world through his portal. When he was swimming inside the water, a giant creature came to attack him. Nick also attacked it to save himself, but this attack was of no use to him. And when that creature came very close to eat him, Nick's luck favored him here because an even bigger creature emerged from the other side and caught this attacker creature, and Nick's life was saved. Now, because there was a lot of movement inside the rope outside the world, Stephen and Connor understood that there is some danger inside. That is why they quickly pulled their professor Nick out. When Nick came out, he was not breathing. They quickly gave him CPR and saved his life. After some time, when Nick regains consciousness, he sees that his wife had been arrested by going inside the same timeline because Helen, Nick's wife, was to be investigated about the same portals that were opening in this world every day. After all, were these portals from another world or another timeline? The scientist had to know all this. At first, Helen was not ready to tell anything, but when she saw that the facility people would imprison her like this, she made a deal with them that if she delivers them some information, they will set her free. At first, no one was ready to believe her, but on Nick's insistence, everyone believed Helen. Helen does not tell them much about these portals, but she tells them where the next portal is going to open. Even now, no one trusted Helen. Everyone thought that Helen must be lying, but Nick had faith in Helen. He reaches that place with Helen along with his team. Helen goes to a freezer in a lab in London, and she says that the next portal will open from here. Claudia looks at the magnetic field here. There was no difference felt here, but there was really a new portal inside as soon as they opened the freezer. Helen quickly goes inside this portal without saying anything, and seeing this, Ryan and Stephen also go inside the portal behind her and see that there were many other portals at this place. Everyone was standing outside confused about what is happening inside, and what do these portals mean. Now they were talking when they felt some movement from the portals. The soldiers quickly got ready to kill any dangerous creature which was coming out of these portals earlier also. But this time a small bird came out of this portal which these people do not consider a threat to themselves. Many such birds come which some people try to steal so that they can be shown to everyone. But Nick never wanted the common people to know anything about these portals or these birds. That is why he takes the birds to the portals so that they can go back through the portal. But one bird dies before entering the portal. Everyone was surprised because whoever was going inside this portal earlier, nothing was happening to it. But now everything was changed. What could be the reason for its death? Nick performs an operation to know this, and Nick finds a parasite inside its body which had taken its life. This creature starts moving from here. A man also tries to kill this creature, but Nick stops him. Now Abby and Steven together catch this creature and start researching on it. After researching on it, it is found that this parasite had such power that it injures the internal organs of whoever's body it enters, and it also gains control over his nervous system. After the scene shifts to a boy named Tom who had caught that bird that came out of that portal. He brought this bird to his home and started searching about this bird. He came to know that the name of this bird is dodo. But dodos are very small in size, and this dodo was very big. While he was searching for it, suddenly this dodo came and attacked the boy's hand, and Tom's condition started deteriorating as it attacked. His body started turning blue. He quickly goes to the hospital himself to save his life, and he feels in the hospital that something was crawling inside his neck. This was the same parasite about which Nick had done research in the lab. Tom had once tried to attack his friend as well after being bitten by this same creature. But then he soon controlled himself, which clearly means that this creature can also take control of someone's thoughts and mind. Now Tom's friend goes and tells Claudia about the bird that Tom had kept in his house. Nick and his entire team come to Tom's house to search for the same bird, and they find that bird dead in Tom's house. We are shown Tom in the hospital here, whose CT scan has now been completed. The parasite was seen in the CT scan, and the doctor told Tom that he would have to undergo surgery immediately. Hearing this, Tom does not know what happens, but he attacks the doctor and bites him. As soon as Tom comes into his senses, he has become panicky. He could not understand why he is doing all this. To gain control over himself, he went to the bathroom. Now he had to find answers to his questions. So he decided that he would go to Abby, and he will find out where this dodo came from. Because according to his research, he came to know that dodos had been extinct thousands of years ago. Abby does not hide anything from Tom here and takes him to the freezer from inside which that portal had opened. But now that portal was not there inside the freezer. So, Tom feels that Abby is lying to him. Similarly, now Tom gets angry, and he tries to get close to Abby to attack her too. So, Abby senses this, and before that she drops a shelf on him. Abby ran away from here to save her life. But now Tom jumps from the window to catch Abby, and he is about to bite her, when many soldiers arrive here. Before these soldiers kill Tom, Connor tells everyone here that Tom is his class fellow, that he very gently asks Tom to leave Abby and decides to talk to him himself. Before Connor could say anything, he notices that Tom's eyes have suddenly changed. The color of his eyes had changed. His smile had changed. But then he breathed his last in Connor's hands in no time, and he died. That parasite took Tom's life, and Connor got deeply disturbed by this. Now a month passes after all this, and we are shown Abby and Connor in a house. We see that Abby still has the creature named Rex at her house, which she found at the beginning of this season. It also used to live with them. Abby had made it her pet. Now she asks Connor to always keep the windows of their house closed so that it does not run away. But one day Connor forgets to close the windows while playing a game, and that creature goes out of their house, and Connor goes out to find it in a troubled state. On the other hand, Nick finds the dead body of a man whose body was torn into pieces. It was clear that he was attacked by a monster. Nick understood that a new portal must have opened there too. When these people go to that golf club, they see that the portal was now open from the sky at this time, and that monster looking like a bird or a dragon had attacked that man. At last, Connor also finds our EX.IT was also sitting on his car because Rex was chasing him. As soon as Connor tries to catch it, Rex flies away from here. Connor was busy in catching it, and he did not even notice that it had come to the same golf club where Nick and his friends were. He did not even notice that something unusual is going on here. Nick and Abby warns him while calling out from behind that there was something above him. When Connor looked up, there was a giant bird here which was flying fast towards him to attack. Connor runs away from here to save himself, then Rex also flies in front of him. Soldiers wanted to kill that creature to save Connor, but Nick saved that creature by pushing the soldier's gun aside. That creature got very scared due to this gunfire and flew upwards. In this way, both Rex and Connor's lives were saved. Here they now come to know that their Rex, the first creature, had disappeared somewhere in the forest again. Connor and Abby both go to the forest to find Rex, and finally they find Rex. Before they pick it up, they hear some strange sounds here. When they look up, they see small flying dinosaurs. There were so many of them that it was impossible to escape from them. Abby sits down with Connor and also hides her head, showing quick thinking, and here all the dinosaurs pass over them and their lives are finally saved, after which they come to their home with Rex. Claudia now calls Nick here and tells him that that huge creature, that flying dinosaur, had come above their college building. Nick's entire team soon approaches near the college to catch it. But catching it was not that easy. It was flying from here and trying to escape. To catch it and attract it towards himself, Nick ties his red-colored jacket to a stick and holds it high to make the dinosaur think it is prey. As soon as that dinosaur comes to attack on that cloth, Nick lowers that cloth and the dinosaur comes down and it falls unconscious, hitting the ground with full force. Claudia keenly observes this creature, and while seeing it, she tells that in whatever timeline or world this creature has come from, there cannot be humans in that timeline because this creature destroys humans. After some time, we are shown that those small dinosaurs who were earlier after Abby and Connor suddenly attacked the same building where Nick and his team were. The whole team was watching them with surprise, standing by the window, and these dinosaurs were also able to see them from outside. That is why some dinosaurs even break these windows and come inside. Nick and his one companion quickly go to a room and lock everything to protect themselves. Securing his partner, Nick quickly goes outside to call the ambulance and handle the situation. He finds a gas cylinder inside his emergency van, which he picks up in the hope that they might be able to escape from the dragons with its help. But the same dragons started entering the hotel through the chimney, due to which Claudia gets very scared. Claudia picks up a golf stick to kill them, but fighting so many creatures was beyond her capability. Then Helen comes from behind, who takes Claudia inside the kitchen. She puts some metal objects inside the microwaves and turns them all on, due to which a huge explosion takes place in the building, and all these creatures are killed while burning. After all, Helen saved Claudia's life and she herself also got saved. But because Helen got a good chance to escape from the security people, that is why she takes Claudia out of the building and runs away from here. While Claudia was still in a state of confusion as to what had happened to her, in a short while, a team of soldiers also arrives there. They check the building and find out that all the creatures here were killed except a big creature. They plan to kill it, but Nick says no, we will send it to its home. They again go to the same golf club where that portal was open, the portal through which all the dinosaurs had come to this world. They lure that dinosaur towards its home portal by placing the red flag. This portal closes from here as that dinosaur enters the portal. As soon as it leaves from here and this portal closes, these people start celebrating happily, as if some big mission of theirs has been completed. The story jumps ahead a few months. Few months later, we see Connor and Abby again. Abby receives a call from a zoo, and she learns that a lion at zoo has mysteriously disappeared. It was quite strange. Both Abby and Connor go to zoo to check. They do not find any clue here about the disappearance of the lion. But some blood samples are found in the lion's habitat itself, which Connor collects. After conducting a DNA test, they discover that it is not of this world. The DNA of any creature in this world was not matching with that DNA. This was an even more frightening thing. Abby was very worried about this because her boss had also disappeared the previous day, and no trace of him was found. Where were such animals and humans disappearing? This too raised questions. On the other hand, we see Helen again in the same world in the same timeline. She quickly holds a meeting with Nick and his friends and asks for their help because a very big monster had attacked her in her timeline the previous day. She says that this monster was not from any past timeline because she had read all the past. That monster was very scary and strange, and according to Helen, that terrible monster had come from the future. Helen needed the help of Nick and his friends so that she could send that monster back to her timeline or kill it. We are shown the scene of zoo again where Abby was alone at this time and was checking the entire zoo. Meanwhile, Steven also arrives here. He gets very happy to see Abby alive, and before he could tell her anything, they both encounter the same big and dangerous monster whose hands and feet looked like human beings, but it was leaping like a monkey. Ryan and his team attack him from behind to catch it, due to which it escapes from the zoo. When they did not find it anywhere on the way out, they came to know that the monster had gone to the forest. All of them go to the forest to catch it, and they see the monster on the top of the tree, which was moving from one tree to another very fast. They had not seen any animal with such speed before. Nick says that if we have to control this monster, then we will need heavy weapons. At this time, Connor had also come here. He remembered that he had conducted a DNA test the previous day. That DNA belonged to no earthly species. So, it was clear that the DNA was of this creature. He had found out many weaknesses of that creature through that DNA, and he remembers that this creature is very scared of music and sound. That he now goes inside the car to set up the music and starts taking out its music box when that creature attacks the windscreen of his car, and before that it kills Connor. He manages to get out of the car, but that creature had come in front of him again to kill him, and Connor's life is saved by Steven this time, who had brought a gun here, and he shoots this monster with the gun, but this monster still does not die. On the other side, we see Ryan, who was checking this whole place, and here when he hears strange sounds from a place, he goes inside and checks this hut where he sees 3-4 more small creatures like the creature with which they were fighting. Ryan learned that the large creature that the small ones are watching is actually their mother, and 3 are its young. The mother creature had brought dead bodies of 3 humans here as food for its offspring. Somehow that monster also comes to know that its offspring are in danger because humans have reached them. So it immediately comes here to save its children before this monster attacks each and every human. Nick gets an idea to distract this monster. He picks up one of the offspring of this monster and starts running out of here. He also starts breaking the mirrors installed upside so that he can distract this monster with sounds. Hearing sounds from here and there, this monster really gets confused, and Nick shoots in the eye at the right time, taking advantage of this weakness, and knocks it down. At this time, this creature was not dead yet. These people put all the offspring of this creature in small containers, in the hope that these people will send these creatures back to their timeline. Well, these people had escaped from a very big trouble. At least they had saved the world from these monsters. Now they were quite relaxed. Nick and Helen start talking here, and Helen gives Nick a camera and asks him to make her picture. Seeing this camera, Nick remembers a very strange thing. This was the same camera that he had seen for the first time when he went inside a portal in the past timeline. The first time he went inside a portal, he saw that there were some containers and human remains. Those containers were exactly the same as the containers in which they have kept these human remains this time. Seeing this, he understood that the timeline he had gone to was not the timeline of the past but of the future, and the human remains lying near those boxes also belonged to none other than these people. They belonged to these people as Nick and his team. Nick was still thinking about all this when it is shown from behind that mother creature attacks Ryan, and it also starts killing the other people in no time, and Nick keeps watching this with his own eyes. In the meantime, some other creatures also come out of the portal, one of which attacks Nick. Before anything could happen to Nick, that dinosaur-like creature comes here, which was shown at the very beginning of this season. Now it starts fighting with this future monster. Both of them had equal strength. This was something to be believed. That small monster was giving a good fight to that dinosaur-like creature. But because of the dinosaur being heavy, it knocks it back and falls on it and defeats it. Ultimately, that creature dies, and thus Nick's life is saved. Here Nick now finds out the biggest twist, that he was not in his timeline at this time. He had come to a future timeline at this time, where he was living his whole life with his wife. Actually, he had come with his wife to help her in another timeline. Now his wife takes him to his timeline, and from here she goes back to her portal after saying goodbye to everyone. Nick sees here that his whole team was waiting for him outside the portal. Seeing them, he was very relaxed. But at this time, Claudia was not in his team. When he asks his team about Claudia, all of them are surprised and ask who is Claudia? These people did not even know Claudia. From this, Nick realized that he had traveled to the past and changed something which altered all the future. And now the future was not the same as he had seen. That means now these people will not die, but they will remain alive. And this season ends here showing. So the story